Joe Biden done lost his God-forsaken mind. He done lost his ever-loving mind on the Breakfast Club. I don't know who gave him the go-ahead on the Breakfast Club, but I'm pretty sure at this point they want to reverse that selection and choose different. Today, Joe Biden appeared on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne Tha God, only Charlamagne Tha God. It was like a one-on-one interview, and Joe Biden was Joe Biden. When I say Joe Biden was Joe Biden, what I mean by that is Joe Biden was cocky, he was confrontational, he was disgruntled, he has a shouty demeanor during the majority of the interview. But there was something that came out of it that was a little bit different, at least not so stark. And that was when Charlamagne Tha God had the audacity to ask Joe Biden, what are some things you want to specifically do for the black vote? And Joe Biden said this, and I want to make sure I get this right verbatim, guys. At one point telling the host, Charlamagne Tha God, if you support President Trump, then you ain't black. This is all kinds of wrong, first of all. There were a lot of black folks that did support Donald Trump in 2016. They're, what do you get, like 7%, 8%? I don't know. Under 10% of the black vote, I think, went for Donald Trump. But those people are black. I may disagree with them politically on certain issues, particularly who they chosen as a president, but they are black, though. So it's just something so problematic about having a white guy tell a black man that if you don't support him, that you ain't black. It just goes to further show the audacity and the arrogance and the entitlement of neoliberals, establishment liberals, Democrats in certain positions. Let's start this from the beginning. Let's unpack this entire interview. But I just want people to understand completely how disgusting this was, a statement to make. And there's some, of course, who are out here deflecting, and that only compounds the level of disgust that I have for what he said. But we have people running interference, black, white, Latino, running interference for Joe Biden's horrible statement. Not only does he disincentivize black people for voting for him, he's been doing that this whole campaign, if anybody paid any attention. One of Joe Biden's favorite talking points was to tell anyone who questioned him, go vote for the other guy. He done ratcheted it up from telling people to go vote for the other guy to, if you vote for the other guy, you ain't black. Now he's stripped black people of their blackness. Because if they dare to question him, or if they dare to say, I don't think I want to pick Joe Biden, now he's saying you're not black. And you can say it was a joke. Simone Sanders is out here as his senior advisor saying that Joe Biden was just joking. He was talking in jest, and that he really meant this or he really meant that. No, you know what? He meant what he said. And as a friend of mine, Chris Richards, Eclectic on Twitter said, so basically what Simone Sanders is saying, old white guys can tell black guys that they not black as long as they just joking. Or something like that. And if that rule applies for Joe Biden, shouldn't it also apply for Donald Trump? Would you give the same, allowance to Donald Trump to make such asinine, disgusting comments about black folks? I'm sure she wouldn't, because she's not getting paid by Donald Trump. But at least Joe Biden, at least Simone Sanders in this case, who's defending Joe Biden's de-blacking of black men and black women, black people, at least she's on the payroll. We have people like Jamel Hale. We have others out there, Louise Mensch, I don't know what she's doing, that are defending Joe Biden, who aren't on the payroll, who are just doing it instinctively. Because, hell, why not throw the whole black race, all of black America under the bus for Joe Biden? Why not? I mean, come on. It's what we do. We have chosen a demigod in Joe Biden, and, well, we'll just go ahead and just piss off all black people in order to support Joe Biden. This is a horrible thing. It's beyond horrible. Now, there were other things in this interview besides Joe Biden telling me that I wasn't black if I didn't vote for him. There are other things to be pissed off about. There are other things to focus on, like the fact that we had Joe Biden defending the 94 crime bill. He actually defended it. He said that when Hillary Clinton was interviewing with Charlamagne Tha God in the Breakfast Club back in 2016, that when she said, hey, it was a bad vote, wish we could do that over, we like to do better, we like to atone for it, Joe Biden said she was wrong to say that the crime bill didn't hurt black people. It wasn't the crime bill, it was parts of the crime bill, not the crime bill itself, which is a bunch of ninjutsu-type movements that I don't even know if the average person can do. But mental gymnastics you have to try to ascend to make a nationally known, like everyone knows the 94 crime bill disproportionately negatively impacted black folks. Black people know it, Latinos know it, Asians know it, Native Americans know it. People who don't live in America know it. People who live far away know it. I mean, it's iconic in what it caused. And we have Joe Biden on the Breakfast Club today saying, no, it didn't cause mass incarceration, because he was the architect of that bill, that horrific bill that gutted black communities, that made an ounce, a gram of cocaine equal to like a pound of crack or something. Some crazy, disproportionate laser focus on black folks in a negative way, of course. So it wasn't just this horrible comment that he made about black people not being black unless they support him, but also his lie, his rewriting of history in order to push himself forward. It's also noted that the interview was pretty short. I'm looking at the MSNBC article that says it was 11 minutes. I count 18 minutes, which is pretty short. I mean, all of the other folks that interviewed with Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club sat for much longer periods of time. I know Bernie Sanders, Marianne Williamson, Elizabeth Warren, for instance. They all sat for Kamala Harris. Andrew Yang. They all sat for much longer periods of time. Only Joe Biden, who yelled for most of it, talked over Charlamagne, filibustered, did a bunch of word salad, and then had his producers say, oh, we got to go. He's the only one that kind of like slid out the door in 17, 18 minutes. This is the guy that you're saying we need to support or we ain't black. This is me evidently taking off my black suit. Because you're not going to make me support Joe Biden to maintain blackness. I was black before I knew who Joe Biden was. I'm going to be black long after Joe Biden is no longer a politician. And once finally people realize he's unacceptable. There's an article by Jacobin Mag. It's by Branko Marketic. And I would love for you to take a look at it, because it says Joe Biden has built a career on betraying black voters. And in this article on Jacobin Mag by Mr. Marketic, he gives you a clinic on all of the instances on several instances, probably not all of them, but several instances where Joe Biden talk about black people in order to get the black votes. But when it came down to it, Joe Biden was not a friend of the black community in many instances. Sort of like how he started off as being someone who was supportive of public housing, but then once he got into the Senate, he ran from that issue. He jumped on the Judiciary Committee, where it was his job to enforce segregation, and where he also became the architect of the tough on crime measures that we all talk about now to this day, that are biblical to this day. Joe Biden did that on his own volition. because it gave him more proximity to power, which led him to the position where he could run for president. But he talked a good talk about black rights. He talked a good talk about, activism, but that's not what he did in real life. In 1977, Joe Biden left the Senate Banking Committee where he could combat predatory lending or what have you, and that's when he joined the Judiciary Committee where he opposed busing. That's when Kamala was bringing up the whole busing thing that people threw her under the bus for eventually. Architect of mass incarceration. Through the 80s and the 90s, Joe Biden pushed for heavy sentencing, disproportionately affecting black folks in a negative way. And now he rewrites history on that matter. So like I said, there are many things in this interview that we could push back on. And we can go tit for tat, man. We could talk about, in 2003, the eulogy of Strom Thurmond, known segregationist, some say also sex predator, Strom Thurmond. But there are other things. That also get your ire up if you pay attention. Like Charlamagne asked good questions. He asked him about marijuana legalization. And that Joe Biden was for decriminalizing but not legalizing it. And he said, well, he doesn't want to legalize it because he's not sure about the effects of marijuana. And Charlamagne Tha God rightfully suggested, hey, man, as many people as we know that smoke weed, we would know if it damaged you in certain ways. I mean, people have been smoking it, it just hasn't been legal. But the bottom line is that Joe Biden doesn't want to legalize marijuana. That's just because he just doesn't want to. Doesn't really have a real justifiable defense of maintaining this mass incarceration. And we all know drug policies are disproportionately lock up black people and poor folks. We all know this. Here's the thing, and I hope, I don't know, man. I gotta wonder. I gotta ask the powerful folks in the Democratic Party, what really is the difference between you guys and Republicans? I mean, I know all my life, all I heard was that if you vote for Republicans, you're voting for people who don't respect you, people who won't do anything for you and don't respect you and who are bigots. And when I look at Joe Biden, when I listen to Joe Biden, when I look at his record, which he touts as so outstanding on civil rights, I see a man who doesn't respect us, who won't do anything for us, and who is a bigot. And just because the NAACP gave you an award does not mean that you deserve that award. And that does not mean that you've done anything for black people. That just means that the NAACP gave you an award, sir. Because I know I didn't sign on to it, and I know my parents didn't vote for you to get that award. That's a private organization. So to tout the award given to him by the NAACP doesn't make him more of an ally to black folks. Joe Biden's an expert at extracting black votes. Doesn't mean he's an expert at helping black people. There is a difference, Johnson. Lately I've been having this conversation like we need to also focus on Donald Trump. And I still stand behind that. But when you have a candidate as boldly and arrogantly demanding your vote simply because you black, that to me is horrific. I don't know how you defend that. I don't know how much you're getting paid to defend Joe Biden's horrible statements. You need to tell him you need a raise today. Joe Biden has turned himself into Trump's biggest supporter because with statements like this, where you chastise black folks, whether in jest or whether intentionally, you have, in effect, become a booster for Donald Trump. You just told black people they need to curse you and shame the devil, and they need to go out and vote for Donald Trump. They need to exercise their right to not vote for you. You just enforced the idea that it would be a good idea not to vote for you, just to teach you a lesson, just to show you. Now, I disagree with Diddy making this such a late point, making this like, hey, we need to get something for our vote. I really wish he would have chimed in 6 months earlier when we could really looked at all the candidates and saw who was better for the black community at the time. Then we could have got behind one of those candidates and helped them win instead of being left with Joe Biden at this point, and then trying to hold his feet to the fire after there is no more fire other than Trump. But the idea that people want something for their vote should not be foreign. I know Wall Street wants something for their vote and for their dollars. I know the big insurance companies want something for their vote and for their dollars. LGBTQIA, they want something for their vote. Latinos want something for their vote. Everyone wants something for their vote. Progressives want something for their vote. The middle class wants something for their vote. All voting blocks want something for their vote. But this idea that if they don't vote for you, like you would never say to a gay or LGBTQ person, if you don't vote for me, you aren't LGBTQ. I mean, you're not even black. I mean, Obama didn't even say such horrifically arrogant crap like, if you don't vote for me, you not black. I mean, who the hell does Biden think he is? You know what you think he is? Better than you. Your daddy is who he think he is. He is Zaddy. He your Zaddy, black woman. He's your boss man, black man. That's who he think he is. The audacity of this man. Oh, I'm getting fired up now. I'm just really sinking in more now. The more I talk, the more it sinks in. We had Barack Obama running for a second term or even a first term. Yeah, first term, 2008. He didn't even have the audacity to say, if you vote for that guy over there, you ain't black. And he was black and is black. The arrogance level of Biden is off the Richter. The usual bar is here. Biden way up here some damn where. I mean, there's so many tangible things about Joe Biden that are repugnant. Not only to black people, but to working people. Elderly. Joe Biden's the guy that wanted to cut Social Security and Medicare. Said it 5 times and he voted to get it done. And still he was able to lie his way through primaries where people still endorsed him and pretended that that's not the same guy who tried to cut them. We saw him say the words out of his mouth that he tried to cut Social Security and Medicare and in any entitlements. And who does that disproportionately affect and impact negatively? Black folks. But still somehow he was able to get notable people in the black community, older people in the black community to support him. And when Joe Biden says that it's not true that younger blacks don't support him, he's lying. Joe Biden does not do well with younger voters of any stripe, of any color, particularly of black Americans. So, Joe Biden has built a career on betraying black voters, having the rhetoric. Even this rhetoric in his joke is a fake solidarity with black people, where he wants to try to project that he is cool with black people. But in actuality, he does not represent that. He does not demonstrate that. You ain't black. So, if Joe Biden thinks it's fine for him and his team thinks they can talk and weasel their way out of this, which they probably will be able to, because let's face it, we got too many token blacks who are there to get a paycheck, who are looking forward down the road to possibly wanting a paycheck from Joe Biden in some way, shape, or form, whether it be through Joe Biden or extension of Joe Biden, people like Michael Bloomberg. So they're going to tote the line. They're going to carry water for Joe Biden. But for independent media, independent black voters, independent media, people like your brother Tim Black, we're going to call this out. It has to be called out. So it may have a very short life cycle in the news. News cycle may be very short. But we heard what we heard, and we know what he meant. It's the cocky, arrogant display of an entitled old white man who thinks he can tell. I just imagine, guys, Just imagine if Bernie Sanders would have told black people, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Just imagine it. Hell, imagine Kamala Harris saying it. Should have been roasted. I mean, just to pick a person. If Andrew Yang would have said it, no one should be able to say it. No one should be able to say it. I thought that I thought in the level of offending black people, I thought Trump had already hit the highest mark. I thought he had already scored the maximum amount of scoring possible when he said, well, what you got to lose, black people? Vote for me. What else you got to lose? Vote for me. I thought that he was the most offensive, but no. In comes Joe Biden in the last minute. Polling higher than Trump in several states. Here goes Joe Biden to snatch a defeat from the jaws of victory by face planting on the Breakfast Club and saying even worse, offending even more black people by saying, if you don't vote for me, if you even think about voting for Trump, you ain't black. I don't know if Joe Biden know this or not, and I hate to break it to him, Mr. Hairy Legs from the pool, lifeguard guy. You ain't black either. In fact, you the one that ain't black. You not black. You need to make sure Hunter knows that you're not black, right? I'm just checking, because you talk like somebody gave you a card. Somebody tell Joe Biden, we fresh out of cards. We don't give black cards no more. We don't give white people black cards no. Them days is over. We have our own representation. We have our own people to sell us out. We don't need you getting a black card to sell us out. We just elect black people to sell us out. We done moved on. We moved on to letting black people betray us now. We don't need you to do it for us no more. We moved past the Clintons. I said it. All right. That's it. Joe Biden said, if you even think about voting for Trump, then you ain't black. He said that. And he was lucid. He wasn't the meandering Joe Biden who didn't know where he was, who probably wore his underwear outside his slacks. This was Joe Biden, coherent Joe Biden, okay? So don't give me that he didn't know what he was saying. Don't give me that. He knew what he was saying. He meant to say it. He said it. It's on tape. It's right there. I don't find it funny. Comedians have been canceled for less. And this guy gets to say it and you guys carry on with it. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And if there was black cards, they should be revoked for all of you who play defense, who deflect for Joe Biden. You should be ashamed of your damn selves. I'm Tim Black. Follow me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. We will call this thing straight or be damned.